Well, hello. I want to welcome you to another exciting episode of Pens in Use. This week, a few old favorites, joined by some brethren. So let's take a look at them. Videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. If you'd like to discuss any of the pens brought up here, or perhaps the adjustment coming at the end, or perhaps my brief comments about advertising at the end, please feel free to leave a comment down below. So let's take a look at what I have inked up this week. So first pen I have here, a Toz Penkala Rex EMI 101. Did you hear the word Penkala? I've had some useful comments because of this Molster Penkala, which is older, and so I brought out its much younger brother from the 1960s versus 1930s. So we'll see how it writes. Of course, the Molster Penkala SW68, number 930, pen of the 1930s. These are both Croatian pens. I have a Parker Sonnet, which I don't remember if I used last week or not, but what the heck. PenBBS, well, there was some controversy, 308 or was it 266? The box says, I think this is the right box, says 308, but the band on it says 266, so I don't know. Kaco Retro, Hungarian Prima 61 with a Pelikan nib, which is interesting. Lamy 2000, which I thought there's few enough pens inked this week. This is pretty much a given that it's always inked, so I thought we'd bring it out for another whirl. And we're going to have another crack at the Stipula. Hint of things to come. So let's take a look at how these write. As always, I'll use my seafood-flavored Bomo art journal. So the first pen I have for you this week, Toz Penkala Rex EMI 101. It's a pen from the 1960s. Has a EMI 101 written on the cap, engraved kind of. On the barrel, also on the cap band, Rex. That's pretty much it. Nothing on the barrel that I can see. Nothing on any of the finials, nothing on the clip, which was described as gold-plated, but the gold plating is worn off. Unscrew it, reveals you can't tell, but it's a segmented ink window. And then the nib, oh boy, is showing some condensation because it's somewhat chilly down here. Somebody suggested that might be a Bach nib. I don't know, there is nothing written on it to tell me what kind of nib it is. But, as you can see just from me writing the date, it's pretty fantastic. So, TOZ, whatever that stands for. Croatian pen, by the way, made in the country of Yugoslavia, which no longer exists. I have quite the story to tell about Penkala. Both these pens are inked because over the Thanksgiving break, I plan to film a review of these two pens separately, and they're probably going to end up in a advanced filmed, 101, holy cow, an advanced filming of Instagram, which I'll put it out after I film their review. Because I'm getting smart, I'm just batch filming. I have 4 first impressions batch filmed, and I'm working on getting some reviews batch filmed. And the only one I can't batch film is this show. So pretty impressive, and I don't like to push these pens as far as they can go for, I think, obvious reasons. It was described as being flexible up to a triple broad. I can't bring myself to do that. Scares me. My Molster Penkala, which is almost empty. I'm probably going to have to refill it before I film this review next week for Thanksgiving. Filmed over Thanksgiving. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure when it will be out, but before Christmas, because I'm in love. I love both these. These are great pens. I don't know what the number 930 means, but there it is. The ink is Diamine Sunset. And both these pens are very wet if you're into that kind of thing. If I ran my finger across both of them, you'd still see some letters that aren't dry yet, which has its good and its bad points. Somewhat on the more modern end, Parker Sonnet, which again, this goofy ink, I don't know why. It's the only ink I've had with this pen that creeps into places where it doesn't belong. I don't understand. But it is what it is. I have the gold nib in this, and the ink is Noodler's Fox, which, if you're looking for a bulletproof red, there you go. All right. PenBBS. I was corrected. Apparently, PenBBS continued to produce these pens with the older cap band on them. Come on. That said 266, but it's actually a 308. Which makes another first impression I filmed ahead of time kind of awkward when we get to that point. So I might have to throw a correction into the middle of it. So PenBBS 308. I was wondering, I think this is the pen, but they both have the same thing, it's just a different number. One has a 27 SF. And the other one has a 31. I don't remember which one I filmed, I've released yet. I guess I don't care a whole lot. But anyway, basically the same pen, a little bit different finish. The nibs were very different, which is why I did 2 first impressions. So I don't know if SF means soft, fine, or what's up with that. Perhaps some of you who know PenBBS can enlighten me. And I'm sorry, my voice probably faded from the microphone there. PenBBS 308. Drawing a blank. Okay. So we won't do it. Well, okay, it just has an F on the nib, so we'll go with fine. And this ink, I have to say, even with such a fine nib, and several people remarked on this during my first impression, very nice. Califolio isn't a brand I hear about much with other reviewers, but I've been quite pleased with their inks, the ones that I have. And I was just told this week that if you get enough bottles, you can make a circle out of them. So, I don't have one down here to show you, but because they're wedge-shaped bottles. And I guess enough of them are like a pie or a pizza. Oh, I just think this is attractive. The other one I first impressioned is also very attractive, but in a very different way. But, well, you'll see when it comes. Can't put it in pens in use yet, although it's been in use all week, because you haven't seen it. Kaco Retro, which I got wrong when I first reviewed it. Very attractive, and I had some questions about this clip being flimsy. I found it very tough. So, oops, it's not a screw cap. So this person, I can only review the pen I have. And sometimes we get a lemon, sometimes we get a horrible brand, we just happen to get a good one. And I don't know where they stand or where I stand. I think this was a fine nib. The ink in it is Atramentis. A very smooth nib in this pen. Cucumber. We'll come back to my fun Central European pens. This is a Prima, probably from the 1950s in Hungary. I see besides the Prima 61, I was studying this the other night, trying to decide if I want to film a review of it, which I'm pretty sure I will. 109, and that looks like a SL, I'm not sure. I have not found anything about Prima online except that they were a Hungarian pen maker. So That's going to be one of those videos where here's a cool pen that I know nothing about. And I don't know the story. You know, my Polish pen, I found out why it has an American nib. That's how they made them. This one, I've not figured out how it got a Pelikan oblique medium nib that doesn't fit the feed real well. My guess is somebody picked it up and liked it and switched out whatever nib this had on. It's an attractive pen. You know, it's old. When I restore a pen, some of you may be disappointed when I do my pen restoration video. I'm not one who wants to restore them to like new condition, because I see them as old pens. My main thing is I want them clean, of course, and I want them writing. But if they look old, that's part of the charm. We all have our different philosophy on that. Herbon lidete. I'm trying to do my French pronunciation right. And speaking of French, I just realized I never told you what ink this was. Inti. All right, it's always pretty much a given. Lamy 2000 is in use. Back from the dead after my horrible treatment. Lamy 2000. Thanks to a new nib that I was able to find. The ink, of course, is Lamy Black. The pen seems to have forgiven me, and it's writing like a champ. There was, at first, a little leakage around here, around the section, around the ears. But it was either over-tightened or under-tightened. A little bit of experimentation, I got that right. And finally, the pen that has been my source of drama lately. Yes, the Stipula. And I will admit it, every time I see a review that says Stipula, until I got this one, I was just like, oh, don't care, I never watched it. And I saw this one on Goulet Pens. I thought, that's so pretty! And if you read the two reviews that are there, they're quite complimentary of a pen that they apparently haven't written with yet. and I read a little bit about the Prisma Rainbow. They were quite complimentary, but I didn't research it like I usually do. I have a review I'm filming. This is not a pen in use because it's almost out of ink and I don't want it to run out before the video. I'm going to film a review of this also. Parker Duofold. I researched the heck out of this puppy before I bought it. I've got a Pelikan M800. Researched the heck out of that. My Visconti Homo sapiens, that was before Visconti started getting this reputation for having unreliable nibs. But I researched the heck out of that too. For some reason I didn't research this one. So this is a Stipula Aturia. Who knows if I'll get the name right. A Stipula Aturia Prisma 88. T-Flex. Seriously, the furnace is going to come on during this? And I'll talk till the blower comes on. Then I'll stop all the cameras. I thought I had turned that off upstairs. The ink is Diamine Autumn Oak. I think that's actually very nice writing. That's exactly what I pictured. Now, it doesn't go with a fast flow the way a lot of other pens would. It'll go with a slow flow. Not gorgeous, but, you know, when you're putting ink down fast, don't expect it to be pooling magnificently. So, I'm okay with this. I'll tell you what, I could put this puppy down there and it would do just fine. But I thought it'd be fun to try and experiment. So while the blower is on, I'm going to switch out nibs. It's friction fit, so you just pull straight out, don't twist or anything. And I'm going to put in a Nemosine Re-entry nib, a broad nib. So we'll pause all video and we'll be back after the furnace quits. Alright, I'm back. The furnace is off. So I put the re-entry nib in. This is the T-Flex nib out of its little hidey hole in the pen. By the way, I don't recommend regular nib changes. This was an experiment mostly to see how much of the problem lay with the nib. So I think with the re-entry nib, that is actually a very nice look. Let's just see how it writes. So Stipula, I'm not going to write the whole name because that's too long. So Stipula Aturia, definitely, oops, I misspelled it. Definitely does not have the nice variation as it, oh, you couldn't see any of that. Definitely does not have the nice variation of it did with the T-Flex nib. Writing very well, and I'm able to write a lot faster down here. So make of that what you will. I also think it's laying down less ink up here. But anyway, that was an experiment I felt was worth having. The honest truth is I'm probably going to put the Stipula nib back in and live with that. But anyway, I just goes to show you that even somebody who thinks he's an informed pen consumer can make a stupid mistake and fall for a pretty pen without doing his due diligence and researching and watching videos like this about them. So, anything else? The main thing, I just wanted you to see the two Penkalas here because I am hopefully doing a video on them soon. Sorry, that looked really dark on the writing on this camera, the writing step. I thought, oh my god, I hope I didn't film the whole thing that way. But it was just the angle the screen was at. The only other thing I really had that I wanted to bring up specifically today, it had to do with a video I was watching. It was 12 minutes long. It was a, let's call it a news clip. But anyway, 12 minutes. I'm holding up one hand because 5 ads interrupted it. Not to mention the ad that played before the video ran, and presumably one after it, but I didn't run it till then because I saw how many ads were upcoming because of the little yellow blips down in the red line that's at the bottom of the screen. I thought, nope. And I just got me wondering, you know, I advertise on this channel. I don't mind an advertisement ahead of the video or, you know, after the video. Not that anybody watches those. I don't even mind, you know, I don't want to do it myself, but if, you know, if it's an hour-long video or half-hour-long video, interrupt it in the middle once for an ad. But 5 times in 12 minutes, and I just got this fear. I've never said no to that. I've never said yes to that. So I guess I want to know from my viewers, because I don't know if I get the proper representation when I look at my own videos. Am I being interrupted by advertising? Because I don't want to be. I just want the video to run through. Even my really long videos, I want them to run through. So let me know in the comments if this is getting interrupted with advertisements, because then either I need to change a setting or look at doing something else. I don't need the money from this channel. I mean, since election season, the money has been nice, but and I can't live off of it. I can't even pay basic bills off of it. So anyway, let me know. And let me know what you think about the pens. You know, the two Molster Penkalas. Perhaps my offensive comments about pushing a nib to its limits were offensive to somebody. Let me know all that. So I want to thank you for watching. And if videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, please subscribe. And, like I said, everything I just said about comments, I don't want to repeat it again because I'll forget something. But especially about the advertising. If there's too much advertising, especially if it's interrupting my videos at all, let me know and I'll see what I can do about it. So I thank you for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.